Wow, what's good, family? It is me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Broadcasting Community. Shout out to M Vision Photography and Videography. If you're in Donaldsonville, Baton Rouge, Prairieville, Patterson, any of these surrounding areas, and you have an event, you have a wedding, you need a commercial, music video, whatever, hit up M Vision Photography and Videography. Shout out to the Louisiana All American Sports Network, and shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. We are back, three kings of the wire analysis. We back with our wire analysis, season one, episode 9, game day. Let me introduce y'all or reintroduce y'all to the family. First of all, the general of this phenomenal organization, my brother 7A Sports TV. What's good with you, bro?
Peace, brother. Doing good.
I'm glad to hear that. And my LDBC brethren, leader of the Southern Baller Show, my brother Jared 11 Green. What's good with you this morning, bro?
Man, I can't complain. I'm blessed, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And of course, like I said, we back season one, episode 9, game day. We just gonna get right into it. Avon Barksdale plays in expensive game of one-upsmanship with an East Side rival, and of course, we all know that East Side rival is Proposition Joe. So this is the breakdown for the particular episode. The episode begins with a basketball player playing in the gym. He's a junior college basketball player. Avon is trying to put on his east side, on his team to go up against the east side. Basically, uh, Avon is trying to do like Abel Mahari. He's trying to bring in some ringers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. While I'm talking about that, Abel, come on, bro. Man, you trying to get Ticket TV and Champ to go up against the usual suspects. Come on, man, bro. But anyway, so he basically trying to bring in a ringer. They done lost the annual game to the West Side for the last 3 years in a row. So Avon, he basically trying to bring in the ringers. So he talks to Stringer about the Omar situation. Why they talking about it? They talking about how basically Stringer giving him the rundown on this particular cat. He JC, like all the Power Fives, PWIs want him. He a big time player. Whoop the whoop the whoop. And he was like, well, why he didn't go big? More than likely, he didn't kind of go into the full details of it, but more than likely, he probably don't have the grades. So as a result, he probably had to go to JC route. So they start talking about the Omar situation. And Stringer gave him his take on it. Basically, Stringer was like, look, man, we need to let this whole little situation blow over for a minute and let it die down. Once he pop his head back up, then we get him. And Avon say, all right, so what's going to happen in the meantime? So people going to think it's cool, for this zesty individual to take my stuff and it's cool. So when they see him out in the sunshine, then what? So basically, they was going back and forth with their situation. In the next scene, D'Angelo is trying to convince Wallace that what happened to Brandon was not his fault. But Wallace made it clear that he wants out the game. And he was like, all right, cool. D'Angelo really didn't press him about that. So he asked D'Angelo, he heard his Thinkum had been deleted too. So for the most part, yeah, we give him the rundown on that. And D gives him a parting gift, give him a little cash, and he gives him some encouragement. He was like, well, first of all, like you 16 and you in the ninth grade, like, dude, you're supposed to be a junior by now. But then at the end, he kind of gave him, some words of encouragement. He was like, look, bro, if you go to high school, like you're gonna do your thing. Like you're a smart kid, you're intelligent, just figure it out. Whatever. Then Kima Griggs calls and tells the unit that Ronnie Moe is up on a payphone. So Ronnie Moe and Weebay are talking on the phone. McNulty asks Prez if Weebay is going to make a pickup from the towers. And he responds by saying in a couple hours. After that, Bodie and Poot, they asked D'Angelo about Wallace. D'Angelo kind of brushes him off. He was like, basically, hey, y'all let him be. And D'Angelo like, hey, he got to go make a run to a payphone because he get a beep on his pager. So when he calls back, basically it's Carver on the other end, and he making a prank phone call. And more than anything, he trying to give verification that, hey, this is D'Angelo's beeper, and it's the payphone that they're using. Then Freeman brings books to Sidnar and Prez, while the rest of the unit are at their respective stations on a rooftop and near the payphones to kind of do surveillance and monitor the Barksdale organization. A guy on crutches comes through to let everybody know that they putting testers out in a little bit. So then Bodie come through, and he basically was like, hey, we coming out with the testers. Let me interrupt real quick. Salute to the brother. I am true, man. Salute to your fam. We appreciate you coming through. So Bodie coming through with the testers. And as we talked about in the previous episode, all of the dope things, they rush Bodie. And instead of him having good customer service skills, he's so used to dealing with these rock stars. He don't know how to treat these rock stars. And basically, since they all bum rushing, he like, man, look the hell with it. He just threw all the vials of the testers in the grass. So prior to that, Johnny and Bubbles, they was like, hold up, ain't that dude from the AA meetings? He was like, man, I know that dude. He was all talk, whoop de whoop de whoop. So after Bodie throw the testers in the grass, Bubbles, he grabbed a few of them and he started talking to Whaler. And he was like, hey man, I was able to get a few testers, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you want some of this stuff? You want to hit? He was like, nah, I'm good. He was like, well, look, if you're not trying to get a taste, then like what you here for? He was like, hey, he here for his nephew. He was like, that's my nephew right there. This is his name. He's 24 years old. Woot de woot de woo. And Bubbles was like, yeah, I stood up at the meeting and I said I'd been clean for a day. He was like, it wasn't even that long. So he was like, well, what about your nephew, whatever? He was like, nah. He was like, I don't see the bottom coming. He was like, for these dope fiends, they gotta hit absolute rock bottom for them to decide, hey, they won't get clean. Whether it's a catastrophic event in life or whether they get old and they get tired of just being on the H or on dope or whatever. When they really won't get clean, they really not gonna decide to get clean until they hit rock bottom. He's nowhere near his bottom. He only 24 years old. He ain't been out there long enough. You know what I'm saying? So they get to rapping a little bit, and that's that. In the next scene, Freeman is explaining how to get the Barksdale organization through paperwork and LLCs. So Freeman explains how you follow drugs. He said if you follow drugs, you get drug dealers and drug users. But if you follow the money, there's no telling where it leads. Then Freeman goes to the state office to gather any necessary paperwork, and Carver and Herc pull Weebay over with the drug money, and they confiscate 22 racks in drug money. And basically, Weebay and the whole clique, they acting like it ain't really no big deal. That kind of go to show you the type of money that they bringing in on a daily basis. For them to just lose 22 racks, it ain't really no big deal. So after that, Bubbles used the fishing hook. He uses a fishing hook trick to steal some drugs from another drug dealer. And for him stealing it, somebody else take the beat down for it. So basically, he up on this building, laying face down. He took the fishing hook, he reeled it all the way down. He grabbed the drugs and he pulled it up. And then after that, basically the dude thought somebody else was stealing it besides Bubbles, and he beat him down. So Bubbles stole the drugs and he escaped. But basically somebody else had to get the beat down. So after that, Bubbles and Johnny, they getting high. And Bubbles are like, man, hey, this high kind of weak. Like, in fact, it's not high at all. So then he realizes they did all that, and it was baking soda. So he like, man, Bubbles like, man, I did all this, and it turned out to be baking soda. That's crazy. So Herc and Carver are discussing how much of the confiscated drug money they should turn in. So basically, they're trying to skim off the top. So Carver explains to Herc that, what if the boss is here on the wire, that we confiscated one amount, but we turn in lesser money than we actually confiscated. So Carver asks Herc, did you think about that? Like, did you actually sit down and actually think about that? Next, Freeman is talking about Avon's assets. Freeman explains to Daniels that they want the money side of this case. As Carver and Herc walk in with the money they confiscate, McNulty talks about getting another affidavit for the wire, and Daniel says, another 30 days, McNulty? McNulty asks, what did I do? And basically, he says, like, one day he ready to fight for the case, the next day he ready to roll over. He was like, I don't understand what's going on. So Freeman said, give him some slack. He's wrestling with the Angels on this one. Next, Omar goes into a vacant with some KFC and a six-pack of Mountain Dew. After that, Herc and Carver are on a wire listening to Poot having phone sex with a little brother. Press says it's non-pertinent, so you have to turn it off after a certain amount of time, like 15 seconds or whatever. So you have to hang up. So Poot tells her, basically he's going to poke in all three holes. So they talk about Wallace being spooked after Brandon's deletion and him potentially getting high. McNulty said the same thing. He was like, look, that's non-pertinent. And basically, they just want to listen to the phone section, you know what I'm saying? And after a certain point, they do get some intel, but it's been too long. Like, they've been listening to this conversation for far too long without pertinent information dropping into the end. So they're not going to be able to use that. In the next scene, people are running and panicking because Omar is coming. So Omar robs another stash house by simply making a threat and not even having to use his actual shotgun that he got on his hip, which is crazy to me, but that's another story. And basically, they throw a trash bag full of drugs on the ground, 4 G-packs. So basically, Omar walk up and he tell him, like, look, hey, don't make me huff and puff. And it was like, look, man, we got a MAC-10, we got this, we got that. So clearly they pump faking. Because ain't no way, like, drug dealers I know are going to give up dope that easy, but that's another story. Next, Greggs and Freeman are following the beautiful Miss Shardine Ennis, D'Angelo's pretty young tender love interest and dancer. So they go and talk to her. They tell her she needs to come downtown. After that, Poot is coming out of the store and he sees Wallace copping dope. So he knew, he already knew, he suspected it, but basically he got confirmation, visual confirmation that Wallace is getting high at this point. Next, Herc and Carver are on the roof staking out and they realize nobody is around. So they leave. In the next scene, Shardine is at the station talking to Freeman about his dollhouse furniture. And basically, he's like, nah, it's just a little side hobby, you know what I'm saying? After that, Bubbles is going to his sister's house. So he gets there and she sees it's him. He tells her that he has nowhere else to go. Well, first, even before that point, basically, he didn't even ask her. She told him no. He was like, I ain't asked you nothing yet. So he was like, look, man, I ain't got nowhere else to go. And she like, nah, no. So evidently, they had a previous episode where she let him stay there. He ended up stealing it, to get money to get high, whatever the case may be. So he tells he has nowhere else to go. And she gives him a key. She tells him, hey, always come through the back door. Stay in the basement. If you come out the basement, hey, there's a problem. Next, Herc and Carver are riding through the streets and they realize no drugs are being sold until they stumbled upon the basketball game. And they ask someone who's playing, West versus East. And he was like, Baltimore? He was like, nah, Project. Freeman and Greggs are questioning Shardine. They ask how long she's been working at Orlando's, and she tells them 4 to 5 months and gives them a little information. Freeman tells her it's rare that they bring someone downtown that don't have a charge on them, and they are going, and they don't tell them what they're going to talk about in advance without them complaining. So they explain that everybody that run the drug, they run Orlando's, they're a drug crew. And they dropped about a dozen bodies over the last year. And they sell drugs in every housing project on the west side of Mississippi River. And she says, she doesn't know anything about that. Like, all she does is she's a dancer. And she don't know, anything else Besides that, she don't know really what's going on. So they asked about Keisha Michaels, and she was like, "Yeah, I work with Keisha." And they asked how she's doing, and she was like, "Okay, I guess." So after that point, like Greggs and Freeman, they have a little side meet. So we back to the game, and the West Side scored again on the alley oop. Stringer tells Avon that Prop Joe's point guard played in Italy. So Avon told Joe, like, you had to go all the way to Europe to get a ringer. And he responded by saying, he's home now, but I see you pulling out junior college players. He was like, he's from East Side, and he went to Dunbar. So Avon asked Joe, why are you wearing the suit? He's like, for real, B, it's 85 degrees. You know, what you trying to be, Pat Riley? And Proposition Joe said, look the part, be the part, Emma Elper. And Avon said, you walking around holding a fake clipboard. You can't read a playbook. And he called him a bunch of B words. So Poot and Bodie talked to Herc and Carver. And he asked them, like, you on break? And it was like, they basically all on break. So they talk about the game, and they say it's an annual thing. Eastside won the last 2 years, but in all actuality, it's the last 3 years. So we back to Freeman and Greggs, showing Chardine Keisha Michaels' dead body. So they found her nude, rolled up in a rug, in a dumpster, and she OD'd on H and blow. And they found her with semen in all 3 orifices with 3 different blood types. So she just break down, she start crying. You know what I'm saying? After that, Daniels gave the unit instructions on trying to get a visual on Avon at the game, and McNulty doesn't want to go. And he was like, basically, McNulty, he feel like they could voice ID Avon. He feel like, just going to get a visual on him is a waste of time. And basically, Daniels is like, this is what we do. So the West Side are up by 12 at halftime. And Proposition Joe, he makes Avon a proposition. He was like, let's double the wager and make it a even 6-figure bet. And Avon agrees. So Prop Joe signals the point guard to turn up. So evidently he had another player that he been, basically holding out on. And, he signaled this player like, all right, hey, you can come in the game now. And let's turn up, you know what I'm saying? So President McNulty, they get a call. The weed bait on the wire, and McNulty, he basically falsified log information. And I'm like, bro, this dude, like 7-8 said, this dude McNulty, he'll do anything to win. So at the end of the game, Eastside win by 2. The ref blows the call that gives the Eastside the game. So Avon gets all in the referee face. And basically, he verbally dresses him down. The ref offers to add 1 time to the game, and Avon gets even madder. So the ref said he doesn't want any trouble. And Prop Joe said it won't be any trouble over no basketball game. So Prop Joe asks Avon, are they cool? And Avon tells Prop Joe to bring his people to the park noon. But after that, if he catch him on the West Side without a ball, like basically he light me ass up. Lester is back with Chardine at the station, and she's playing with the dog house furniture and crying. And basically he told her, hey, you could keep that one. So she asks if he knows D'Angelo, and she said they moved in together. She says that she has to quit her job at Orlando, and he says they need her help first. Lester told her she's not the first and she won't be the last unless someone steps up. After the basketball game, they try to follow Avon, but basically Avon shake him like a bowl of jello. He shook him, and then he kind of let him know he shook him because he riding by Daniels, and he giving the Dikembe Mutombo finger wave. Freeman and McNulty are talking about it being a good day for the case, and basically they say, hey, I had a good day and he had a good day. Whoop de whoop de whoop. So Bubbles is pacing and smoking a cigarette in his sister's basement. After that, Daniels, Freeman, and McNulty are talking about the money side of the case. Hold on 1 second, fellas. Hold on. All right, excuse me for a second, everyone. So after that, they're talking about the money side of the case. So you got Daniels, Freeman, and McNulty. They're talking about the money side of the case. And they say they heard on the wire that Weebay lost $22K the other day. They estimate that Avon and crew gross between $22 and $25 million a year. And that they net about $12 million a year in profit. Damn. So Chardine packs up and she leaves D. And D like, hey, like, what's going on? And he was like, look, if you want to leave, you can leave. Whatever. But tell me what's going on. And she was like, you don't think I'm trash? And he was like, what you mean? I think you're a beautiful lady. Like, what you want? He's like, you don't think I'm trash? That you could basically just take and throw in a dumpster? And then he realized, like, hey, she know about Keisha Michaels. And basically, he realized that she know that he was lying to her. So after that, Daniels plays Herc and Carver audio. And it says that they lost $22K, but they only turned in 15. So they have until roll call tomorrow to turn in the stolen money. So basically, Daniels think, hey, y'all stole his money. Whoop. Y'all have to tell XYZ time tomorrow to turn his money in. So Omar brings Prop Joe 4 G packs that he stole from Avon for free if he gives him a way to contact him. And basically, Prop Joe was like, first he loses a $100K bet to me in a basketball game, and you giving me 4 G packs is dope. He's like, I guess it's not his day. And he was like, you want all of this, for a way to contact him? He was like, why shouldn't I just take you and just throw you the hell up out of here? He was like, look, and Omar basically like, hey, look, if I take out Avon, like the towels, they're gonna be open market again, right? So he was like, basically that, if you get the towels, like, it's all good, you know what I'm saying? So after that, Carver and Herc find the other 7K that they didn't turn in. Basically, it rolled out the trash bag and into like where you keep your spare tire, like in that weld, I guess. So after that, Avon and Orlando are counting money while Weebay is going to make a food run. So Avon is outside Orlando's and he getting a page with Weebay's code. So basically, Omar trying to shoot Avon, and Weebay pulls up and he come give him cover. After that, Weebay shoots Omar, and in this entire series, in a gunfight, Weebay is the only person to shoot Omar. That's a fun fact that people really didn't know. So, he shot him, and then after that, basically that's the end of the episode. So I'm gonna turn it over to my brother Jared 11 Green. The floor is yours, bro.
All right, brother. Thank you for that recap. Like always. All right, fellas. Question 1. During a certain point in this episode, Daniel seems to get frustrated with the case consulting McNulty or confusing McNulty. Do you think his frustration is understandable with the case of this magnitude?
I think Daniels was being frustrated with McNulty is understandable or confusing with the case. What do you mean?
No, at a point in the episode, basically, it was the point where McNulty turned in some paperwork and they needed another 30 days on the wire. And they was like, damn, McNulty, like another 30 days? So it confused McNulty. He was like, one day he ready to fight for this case.
Right.
And the next day he ready to roll over and play dead. So basically he was getting frustrated. And Freeman was like, basically like, hey, he wrestling with the Angels on this one, so you need to give him some slack. So that frustration, they kind of confused McNulty because he was like, one day you ready to ride, the next day you ready to roll over. So basically, what I guess Freeman was kind of low-key telling him, like, kids of this magnitude, like, he wrestling with the high ups on this one, so you got to give him some grace.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was gonna say. Is like the he got a lot of pressure on him. You know what I'm saying? He been told to different things from the higher ups and stuff like that. So you know, um, politics is involved and stuff like that, man. A lot of it's personal. A lot of it got to do with them wanting to solve a case. You got the judge on their back, commissioner, and all them guys on their back. Then you got he got to deal with McNulty, and he got to deal with what this eventually what this money and stuff is leading to. So yeah, I mean, who cares about McNulty being frustrated anyway?
We are all three of us have our views on McNulty, how we feel about McNulty. So yeah, we get how he feel. Coach, same question.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, McNulty brought this firestorm on Daniels to begin with. So, like the general said, man, look, McNulty needs to shut the hell up. That's first and foremost. Second of all, this is a high-profile case. In a case of this magnitude, it comes with a lot of collateral damage. The fact that McNulty running his mouth off to Judge Fallon put Daniels in this no-win situation to begin with. So he in a lose-lose situation, and essentially, I'm gonna give you an example from a teacher standpoint. When you at like a real rough school and you got to deal with like irreverent, disrespectful kids on one side, and then you got to fight with administration on the other side, and you're in the middle, bro, it's a tough situation to be in. So he in a no-win situation, and he got to fight a battle on each side. In that situation there, bro, you're under a lot of pressure. It's high stakes. It's high profile. So I don't understand. I understand him being the way he is, and McNulty don't understand because McNulty don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, man, look, bro, this dude, he in a tough spot. So Freeman understands, and Freeman is giving him grace. But McNulty, all he worried about is solving this damn case anyway. He the reason why they're in this situation to begin with. So at the end of the day, like, it's understandable for him to be under the pressure he under in this high profile case. Like, it is what it is. Like, but McNulty don't have that kind of understanding because all he worried about is whatever his end goal is solving this case. And that's why, I don't want to give like details for down the line, but that's why Freeman, like later on, he like, look, hey, all right, you got to have a life outside of this because once this case over and we slap the cuffs on whoever we trying to catch, then what? So that's why he was trying to get him to understand. You got to, I don't care whether it's dollhouse furniture or whatever, you got to have like a life outside of this. And McNulty didn't understand that. All he was worried about is this case. Like, essentially, that was his whole life. To me, it
he
seems
don't
like,
have a life. That's why
he don't have a life.
Really, step on everybody's toes.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you're willing to put your kids in harm's way, to me, it seemed like this case was like the most important thing in his life to me. And, bro, anytime a job is that serious, it's too much. You know what I'm saying?
Well said, brothers. All right, moving on to the next question. Almost the entire West Side shuts down for the annual basketball game. Do you think this game is good to give everyone something to look forward to besides business as usual?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's good. It keeps a friendly competition going on between the two sides to keep them from keep them wanting to beat each other on the basketball court and not in the streets necessarily. And anytime you can get the community together without somebody getting popped and people get a day off of selling drugs, I think the whole community win, don't they?
Yeah, good point. Yes, sir. Everybody win. Coach, how about you?
That was an excellent point the general made. And anytime you could bring the community together and it gives them something to look forward to, like even, from Avon to Stringer Bell all the way down to like Poop and Bodie, like it gives you something to look forward to. It builds morale, and it kind of gives like the whole East Side and West Side something to look forward to, as opposed to business as usual. It kind of like it's the opposite side of what I just said about McNulty. Like McNulty, he don't have nothing outside of that case that he really looking forward to. Like he even willing to use his doggone kids as pawns in this chess game to catch Stringer Bell, which is absurd to me. Dude, you wouldn't have put your own seed in harm's way. Like, are you crazy? Bro, this case is not that serious. It's like, that's the only thing that matters in his life. So the fact that you have this annual basketball game is this huge rivalry. Like 7A said, nobody don't get popped. It's all good, friendly competition. It gives you something to look forward to besides, just a everyday rigmarole, whatever the case may be. So, man, hey, that's a blessing right there. It gives you something to look forward to besides the nonsense, besides just business as usual. And that's a good thing.
Agreed. All right. Next question. At the end of the game, the referee misses an important call. Do you think Prop Joe paid off the referee? I never looked at it like that. I actually like it. This is a good question. What you think, 78?
Um, to me, I think Prop Joe paid him off because um, it was an obvious call, an obvious foul, right? And then you dealing with gangsters out here. So for that referee to miss that call, like it had to be done on purpose, and I think that he got compensated by Prop Joe. That's what I think. I mean, the episode didn't insinuate that, but
Right.
just me looking at it, I got a hard time believing he wouldn't make that. He wouldn't call a foul that was that obvious. I mean, dude got hit, fell down. I'm like, come on, man, it's kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I said it's a good question. I never looked at it like that because like you said, you have to think it's Prop Joe we talking about. So
Mm-hmm.
Prop Joe always devious and looking to make deals behind people's back. So it definitely could be possible. Coach, what you think?
Well, of course, I'm definitely looking at this from a coach's perspective. When I first started coaching, I'm not gonna lie, until you really like step back and look at things from another perspective, you think every call goes against you, even though there were instances where I would be friends with the opposing coach, and I'm like, man, they got y'all got every call. Like, man, what's going? They're like, man, what you talking about? Y'all got every call, and you realize like they have a perspective, you have a perspective. So once I started becoming an assistant coach, like my first job, I was a head coach. Then the next job I was assistant coach. When you move literally one seat over, your perspective and your point of view changes. And the thing I noticed with officiating, if it's just a 50-50 officiating, like right down the middle, if they're making bad calls on one end, they're making bad calls on the other end. If they miss a call on one end, they're gonna miss a call on the other end. So whatever is going on, if they're making bad calls for one team, they're gonna make a bad call for another team. If they miss calls for one team, they're gonna miss calls for another team. That's when it's like really like down the middle. But in this particular instance, like 7A said, first of all, we know Prop Joe, we're gonna keep it a buck. Prop Joe will sneak in the grass. You know what I'm saying? He devious. He always making these little side deals. He always got these, hey, I want to make your proposition. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta watch Prop Joe. Even though the episode don't insinuate that, knowing the way he operate, and especially looking at the prequel, where he a little kid and he's selling answers to the questions and telling he known for playing both sides of the equation. You know what I'm saying? So me knowing Prop Joe, and then not only that, he had a ringer, but he had somebody in waiting. So you make this bet, and y'all went from being down 12 to the end. Now you tying the game up. Now you up by 2, and then this referee missed this blatant, obvious call. And I'm like, bro, this call was so obvious. So knowing that Prop Joe was gonna up the stakes, he probably had the referee in his back pocket just in case. And like and like Avon said, he was like, man, he filed and clear as day. And for you to miss that call, and like 7A said, man, hey, bro, you dealing with real gangsters. Hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I've known where people putting money on games and stuff, even though nobody can get deleted, where people done got touched up for stuff like this. So honestly, truthfully speaking, knowing Prop Joe the way I know him, watching him all these episodes, yeah, I think Prop Joe paid off the run, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Next question. Was Freeman and Greggs adding extras to their story to get Shardy Hines to cooperate with them?
which Freeman and old girl adding extra to get the stripper chick to cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's their job though. They're gonna
Yeah.
lie a little bit. They're gonna lie a little bit, try to exaggerate some stuff to get her spooked and stuff like that, and everything. But it was dangerous because they really, in my mind, they put her in danger because they offer her no protection or nothing, but you just want her to snitch, but she don't. If she, like you took a gamble that she was gonna know something, and then you say you want her to keep working, but then first thing she do is go home and let D'Angelo know that she know. Now, what if D'Angelo was a killer? What if D'Angelo was Weebay or something? You think How you think Weebay reacted to her doing that? Oh yeah, you okay? You wild? You who you been talking to? She would have disappeared, and it ain't like Lester would have been able to solve the case. They would have knew what happened to her, but they couldn't prove it. So that was kind of dangerous. The way they did that. I understand them working her up and trying to, all that kind of stuff. But if she's still gonna be working, I just thought they could have handled it. If you're gonna bring her in to be an informant or something like that, then they should have told her to act normal and all that stuff as much as you can. Don't you go home crying and all that kind of stuff? That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, very dangerous. They very lucky that D is weak. Like you said, yeah. Coach, what you think?
I'm not gonna lie, that's an excellent point by the general. I never looked at it from that perspective, I really didn't. But I mean, they definitely added extras on in terms of, making it seem like it was worse than it really was. Don't get me wrong, it already was bad, but they definitely added like big time extras on. But like 7A said, that's what police do anyway. But in terms of, them not really giving our protection, them not telling her, hey, act normal, like nothing's going on. But I mean, I didn't think about it from that perspective, and that's an excellent point. I didn't even think about it from that point of view.
Yeah, very good point of view. Next question. The Barksdale organization was grossing an estimate of from 22 to 25 million dollars per year and netting an estimate of $12 million per year in profits. Avon wasn't a flashy guy. What do you think he did with his money?
Um, Stashed it. I think a lot of it probably went to Stringer to put into legitimate situations and businesses. I think he hid a lot of it with his sister, most likely. Um, but like I said, he had really nothing in his name that would attract a lot of attention and stuff like that. But he definitely had his stash somewhere. I don't know what he did with it, but most likely, like I said, I think he trusted his sister. So he probably had it in some stuff with her in her name and Stringer Bell.
Okay, okay, I agree. Cause Avon wasn't really a bum, but like you said, he wasn't like the real gangsters like Frank Lucas or Nicky Barnes out there, flying it like a peacock. He was low profile. Coach, what you think?
Yeah, I agree with 7-8. I think he definitely was stashing it because like you were saying, he's not a flashy guy. He not driving a Lamborghini or Ferrari or Benz, especially like in this time frame, like the 600 Benz was big. He didn't even have a Benz. He got like regular Jeep. He don't have nothing in his name. He not trying to be high profile. He not trying to attract any real attention. And I'm not gonna lie, like he played it good. He really stashed everything good. So I'm not gonna lie, he did his thing. And before you ask the next question, bro, again, salute to I Am True, man. Salute to your fam. Uh, Aladdin Saddam. Uh, my family motivation to be a millionaire. Salute, fam. Salute to Relaxing Calm Rain. Salute. And our brother, Big Joe Townsend. standing on LDBC business. Salute to you,
Big
Big
Joe.
Joe.
What up? What up?
Yeah, but back to you, bro.
All right. So Avon showed great street awareness when he knew the cops were telling him, but lacked that awareness when Omar was trying to get him. Do you think he was too comfortable in that situation?
I'm sorry, but can you repeat it? I couldn't
No
hear a little
problem.
bit.
No problem. Avon showed great street awareness when he knew the cops were telling him, but
Right.
lacked the awareness when Omar was trying to get him. Do you think he was too comfortable in that situation?
No, I think actually Omar had him too. Omar had him, but Omar, for whatever, this is why I say like some parts of that show just irritate me. Not that I want nothing to happen to Avon. It's just that it all right when Omar called on the phone and Avon come out when he paged him. Avon come out. The fact that Omar was just standing there by the payphone irritated me because it's like, first of all, how you know Avon ain't finna use the one you want? Why wouldn't you back up and hide in the cut and see if he come out? You don't know what, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, then he do it again. Avon come out and Avon he's suspicious. He's suspicious of what's going on. So he go to the phone, and then you still got Omar waiting there like for a few seconds. Like, what are you waiting for? You know he coming out. Why wouldn't you just go do what you gotta do? Like you playing with your food or whatever. So anyway, once Barksdale sees eBay pull up, immediately, if you remember, he jumps. He jumps because he knew something going on. Something was crazy going on. Unless I don't remember that scene right. I think when eBay first pulled up, he jumped out the way behind the car, and Omar just missed him at that point, and that's when eBay started shooting. So yeah, I think his situational awareness was pretty tight because I don't think you can. I mean, you can't be anything else. He'd be in a mental institution. You know what I'm saying? Anything else, he'd be too paranoid to do anything. So I thought his situational awareness was good with that situation. I mean, he did avoid. How many people can say they avoided Omar? You know what I'm saying? You know, Omar had him too. He had him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Blau agreed with Black Fire. He said because it was Wee-Bay's code Omar was using. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach, what you think?
Well, I mean, this is kind of interesting question because, like, here on YouTube, like this is one of the questions that people like ask a lot in terms of they was like if he was so aware to the point where he knew that the police was tailing him and he was able to shake him and let him know that he shook him, like why wasn't he able when he got the first page and he got the second page? You know, Weebay just left when he walked out of Orlando's. Why he didn't notice that Omar was to his right? And I'm thinking to myself, bro, like, I'm not even gonna front like I'm a street dude. So that's why I kind of give the general benefit of doubt on this one from the perspective of, like, yeah, his situational awareness was tight. But, you know, it kind of goes to show you how people kind of sit back and play Monday morning quarterback from the perspective of people analyze every little minute detail. To me, at the end of the day, like, you got a page from Weebay. You never know. Maybe Weebay want to know, hey, you want this, you want that, you want this extra added to your order, whatever. And then when Weebay pull up, like, hey, they had cheese fries. Then he was like, hold up, that's Weebay right there. Then he realized, oh, hey, somebody after me. And then, you know, once Omar started busting and Weebay started busting back, you know, the gunfight was on. But at the end of the day, I think his awareness it definitely was on point early in the episode when he realized the cops were following him, even though he didn't have a driver's license. And then, for this point, to me, I think it's just natural reaction. Weebay paid you, you know, you hit him back, then you see Weebay pull up. So for people to be scrutinizing this scene and analyzing it, in fact, they're analyzing to the standpoint of where there was like, there's no way he'd have went and got food and came back that quick. I'm like, bruh, first of all, you don't know if they called ahead. Maybe, they might keep food ready because it might be a booming business. And not only that, we don't know how much time lapses in these episodes. For us, it might be a minute real time, but in actual time, it might be like 10 minutes. So we're not taking time lapse in a consideration. So this one of the scenes that people really scrutinize and analyze. But overall, I think his situational awareness, I think it was higher than the average person, being that he was a street dude.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, next question. In this episode, Omar robbed drug dealers of 4G packs without incident. Do you think they had guns? Do you think this situation was realistic?
It was like I say, this is some of the stuff that irritate me about the show only because the Legend of Omar, Omar would have never been able to pull this off, not like this. Like I agree that he can be a Batman type of robber dude. You know what I'm saying? People scared of him for sure, and I agree that some people would just see him and give it up. You know what I'm saying? But I can't see you being uh, protected by a house. The door is closed. You got the drop on him. He's standing outside with his back turned. You got guns in the house, but you so afraid to dump on him and miss and have him get revenge or something that you just dropped the bag out the window. I don't believe that because in real life, uh, uh, if Avon found out it happened like that, all of them would have had the same fate as Brandon.
That's real. That's real, Coach. What you think?
Bro, this scene is so effing unbelievable. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not a street dude, but I'm from South Louisiana. At this time, hey, so many drug dealers used to carry choppers. That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, I remember I was going to this place one time or whatever. It was right next to a club, and this dude that was like a known local drug dealer. He had a chopper in his trunk, an AK-47, right? AK in the trunk. Then not only that, he kept a pistol on him, and he kept a pistol in the car. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, later on, they ended up biting him, when he ended up getting pulled over by them people. But that's another story. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, I knew a few drug dealers that kept AKs in their home, kept AKs in their trunk. Bro, it's no effing way in this time frame, especially not here in South Louisiana, he would have been able to rob somebody with a shotgun by just talking without no gunplay. He'd had to get active to get people I knew that was in the streets like that at that time. There's no effing way he's just gonna walk up there and say, "Hey, I think's not. You got a Mac 10, I think's not. Hey, if you don't give it up now, I'm coming back tomorrow and pull a bullet for every one of y'all." People I know, first of all, they just would have start spraying. Chopper, letting the chopper go, you know what I'm saying? And then if they don't get it, even if they say, you know what, nah, hey, we ain't gonna give up nothing, come back and get us tomorrow. They'd have been ready for him tomorrow. You can't tell them, hey, if you don't give it up now, I'm coming back and put a bullet in everybody tomorrow. They'd have been waiting for him. So at the end of the day, bro, this is too uneffing believable. It's unrealistic to me. That's why I said this myth of Omar, man, it's unrealistic. To me, this scene is unfathomable. I'm just keep it a buck.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I know some dudes back on my way during, especially during that time frame where it wouldn't have went down like that. And I get the people who wrote the show was trying to make the legend of Omar and everything, but in real life that definitely wouldn't have went down without no missile play. So you're definitely right. Um, Omar was good at robbing drug dealers and protecting himself, but terrible at protecting his people. Why do you think he was terrible at protecting his people?
It was too comfortable because the show was written for him to be a superhero, not his homeboys. So he got this crew. Here you are, you got superhuman strength and superhuman reputation, but you run around with mere mortals, of course they're gonna get dealt with. They not as cautious as you. They're not hiding. The dude Brandon is playing in the arcade. Y'all just robbed some with no mask. So one of the biggest drug dealers in the city. Y'all just robbed him with no mask, and you in the arcade playing video games. I mean that's on Omar.
I'm sorry, how you explain how you broke it down like that was funny. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that's like on Omar. Like he ain't training his people. He not training his people right. Like yeah, they good at robbing stuff and all that, but being cautious afterward, protecting themselves, they're not good with that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's just kind of shows the weakness in Omar as far as he might be good at setting up schemes and robberies and staking out people and all that, but when it come time to deal with his people, protecting them, making sure they're good, and they wiping away they footsteps, he ain't really good with that.
Yeah. Well, Coach, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, he was good at robbing people. He was good at protecting himself, but he definitely was a trash bag when it came to protecting his people. And, at least it showed that he had some weaknesses. But come on, bro. Like, if Brandon's supposedly the quote unquote the love of your life, like, why wouldn't you tell him, like, look, bro? Like, I don't know, a lot of this stuff I didn't think of, but that's why I want the general to come through, and bless us. Because first of all, the mass aspect of it, I watched that episode I don't know how many times. I never thought about, like, dang, he robbing these dudes and he ain't got no mask on. I didn't even think about that aspect of it, or that component, first and foremost. And, like they said, he really didn't train his people. And, like, bro, like, you robbed the biggest drug dealer in the city, definitely on the east side for certain. But you out in a restaurant, playing a pinball game, pinball machine, like, are you crazy? So at the end of the day, like 7A said, he didn't train his people, but more than anything, he was cautious, but he didn't teach them how to be cautious. And I don't want to give up, no pertinent details. But I mean, even with Butchie, like, come on, man. If you making a score of this magnitude, bro, like, all of your people, nobody's safe.
Man,
he just did whatever he did, bro.
Like, and I don't mean the episode jump, but you make an excellent point, bro. Move the old man. He blind and everything. He got your back. Move him somewhere else.
Yep.
Man, go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, man. No, but that was it. But you added on to that, like, bro, if you got all of this cheese, Butchie part of the game, why you didn't move? Hey, you look like he moved out the country, but like you said, we don't want to jump episodes. But why you didn't move him too? Come on, man, that's stupid. Yeah, Blackfire, yeah, you right, the West Side. Yeah. But anyway, but like, come on, man, like, salute to Akil vibes, but at the end of the day, bro, he didn't protect his people. When it came down to it. I mean, like 7A said, he didn't train them, and at the end of the day, he really didn't look out for him. As far as I'm concerned.
Oh, you're right. You're definitely right. Last question, fellas. Rate this episode from 1 to 10. What stood out to you in this episode?
To me, what stood out was when they pulled up Weebay and them with that money, with the bread, and old boy, he told him, the black cop told him, he said, look, man, because old boy wanted to try to steal some of it. Yeah, what's his name?
Carver.
Okay, yeah, he wanted to steal some of it. So he told him, like, nah, man. He said, let's say we take some of it. And then later on, we hear on the wire that it was, this much in there. He said, then what? So you didn't think about that, did you? Now, I knew. I said, they going to lose some of that money. Because remember, first of all, they were sloppy handling the money. Because they were sloppy. Because they ended up throwing it in the trunk, in the bag. And then when they opened it up, the money is all out, loose and stuff. I'm like, dude, and they just talking to each other. They dropping money on the ground while they talk. I'm like, dude, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all acting like this is like $5 or something. Like, pick this money up, and then they should have. First thing you should have did was when you seen it was that kind of money, they should have put a knot in the bag and just throw it in the truck. I mean, everybody, that's common sense. Everybody would do that. Put a knot in the bag. You don't just throw it in there. You know what I'm saying? I do that with groceries. If I go grocery shopping and I got like 5-6 bags, I tie the bags up and then put them in the trunk. So that way I won't go out to the car 2 days later and there'd be a pack of bologna in there smelling up the car because it fell out the bag and I didn't notice it. You know what I mean? So
right.
I don't understand how these two cops. Well, they kind of dumb anyway. They kind of dumb.
Yeah.
They kind of dumb. So when so that part right there threw me. I was like, man, look at these goofies, man. They left that money in there, and Daniels, now they look like some thieves to Daniels. You know what I'm saying? They like some thieves. But I'm glad they found it because had Daniels or somebody else found it and they stood on it, they didn't take nothing. Man, them dudes would have been done.
For real, they would have. Coach, what you rate this episode in your?
I'll give it an 8. I ain't gonna lie. I think it was a good solid episode. The gunfight at the end. But I'm a coach, so the first thing I noticed, the basketball game. Prop Joe had the extra ringer besides the one from Europe. I played in Italy, right? And this dude coming out there, he giving y'all buckets. The first thing I'm thinking is a basketball coach. I mean, I know it's a street ball game. They didn't put this much detail in it. Why in the hell y'all didn't trap this dude? As a basketball coach, this is what I'm doing. If this dude, because I done had games where somebody just going off. And I'm like, man, F that, we doubling this dude. If they don't have nobody else that's a threat on that team besides this guy, we taking the ball out of his hand. We going to trap him. And whichever one of y'all the better defender, y'all deny him the ball. If he get it again, we trapping him again. So why in the hell y'all didn't trap this dude? That's the first thing I'm thinking. Like, why y'all not trapping him? Why y'all not playing some kind of junk defense? Like, even if you say, hey, we can't play man, we going to play zone. If we playing man, we going to run and jump on him or something. So that's the first thing I noticed, you know what I'm saying? Now, in terms of D, another thing, like D'Angelo, man, he fell for this chick quick. Like, I done seen this episode a few times, but think to myself, bro, you got a girlfriend and a baby mama. That your baby mama is your girlfriend, but you move in with this chick, like what's good? I mean, don't get me wrong, she a pretty little young tender, but damn, bro, you jump and shack up with her that quick? Like, come on, bro, like what about the baby mama? Like, what are you doing? So at the end of the day, that's something else I really picked up on from a coaching standpoint. The first thing I noticed, like, hey, this dude, he giving y'all buckets and y'all ain't trying to double him. Y'all ain't trying to trap him. Nothing. That's the basketball coach in me. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the whole Chardine and D'Angelo situation, like, damn, y'all moving together that quick. And all right, so if you moved in with her, then what your baby mom is she the side piece, or is Chardine the side piece, or like what's going on? Like, what's the situation with that? You know what I'm saying? So those are the two things that I really noticed that really stood out to the episode. In this particular episode, to me, like, it was a lot of other things I noticed, like you talked about earlier in terms of, the cops putting extras on. One other thing I noticed too, not only me being a coach, but me being a health and physical education teacher. And, I done had a lot of students, especially when I was teaching high school, they used to like to tell me, but they sexcapades. And I'm like, look, bro, I don't want to hear that. If you don't tell me nothing, when administration or somebody asks me something, if I don't know nothing, I can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So don't tell me about this. But all of y'all barebacking and smashing this one chick and ain't nobody using no rubbers. And I'm like, bro, like, come on, what are we doing? And the crazy thing about it is, it made me think about like a few school years ago where, these certain students in my class was talking about smashing chicks and this, that, and the third. And, we got, at this point, they moved us out the gym for PE and they moved us in the classroom. And, we talking about, human sexuality, and I'm talking about condoms. They're like, man, coach, we don't want no condoms. And I'm like, bro, y'all talking about smashing all these chicks. Some of y'all running trans on these chicks, and ain't nobody wearing no condoms. Like, what are y'all doing, bro? Man, salute to the brother Supreme Beast Boxing Talk. Man, salute to your fam.
Cadillac Red, what's up?
Yeah, like Red was good with you. Yeah, but back to what I was saying. I'm like, bro, y'all be smashing all these chicks and ain't nobody wearing no rubbers. Like, what are we doing out here? But you know, that's the things I noticed about the episode the most.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Me myself, I rate it like I want to give it a 9 because I just this is one of my favorite episodes in season 1. I just like the basketball part where the west side and the east side was just the seats fired just for a little bit, just to play a game. It may get a little heated, and with Avon cussing out Prop Joe and them and the referee, but it's just something they have every year where ain't nobody killing or nothing. I just like stuff like that. But
Hey, I'm glad you said it. You're right, bro. Being that I'm basketball coach, but the gunfight kind of took it up another level. You're right, bro. You're right. That's a 9. I'm not gonna say 8. I'm gonna say a 9. You're right. You're right. I was wrong on that one. That's the two little things I really didn't take into consideration on that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, man, this is one of my favorite episodes in season 1, man. And of course, I like how Avon eluded the cops. But yeah, man, that's all the questions, man. Back to you, Coach.
Man, this was another great episode of our wire analysis. Let's go shout out everybody that came through, that showed some love. First and foremost, I am true, man. Salute to your family. Ali
Salute.
Saddam, salute. Uh, family motivation to be a millionaire, salute to your fam. Uh, relaxing calm rain, salute. Our brother Big Joe Town, standing on LDBC business. Black Fire 150, salute to your fam, always coming through and showing us love. And my brother, salute to Akil Vibe, salute to your fam. And my brother, Cadillac Red, Supreme Beast Boxing Talk. Man, salute to everybody that came through, that dropped in, that showed some love.
We appreciate all y'all, man.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all coming through, showing us love. But we getting ready to wrap up this particular episode. My brother, the General 7A Sports TV, tell everybody where they can meet you and see you, fam.
Hey man, y'all catch me right here on YouTube, man. At 78 Sports TV. Catch me on the Note 304 show. Me and Blu-ray. We're going live tomorrow. Note 304 show. So make sure y'all do that. Catch me on Patreon. Patreon.com/78 Sports TV on all platforms. 78 Sports TV.
Man, we appreciate you, fam. Y'all go check out my brother 7-8. My brother Jared 11 Green. Tell the people where they can meet you and see you.
Yes, sir. I'm like the general said, right here on YouTube, Jared 11 Green. I'm ahead of the show called the Southern Baller Show. We try to have it every Sunday if I don't have stuff to do. But yeah, we just talk about football and chop it up, man. So y'all come check us out.
Man, we appreciate everybody that came through, showed love. For all my members of Jaguar Nation, I know if it's boxing, if it's the wire, if it's anything else besides Southern University football, y'all ain't really checking for it. But don't worry about it. I got y'all later on today. Another Southern University video dropping. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed and phenomenal day, blessed and phenomenal weekend. For all my individuals down here in South Louisiana going to parades for Mardi Gras, come Tuesday, Lundi Gras on Monday. Just parades this weekend, and y'all be safe.
Please be
During the
safe.
Mardi Gras season. Catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal weekend. Peace and blessings. And go Jags.
Y'all be blessed.
Peace.